Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. Today we're diving into a classic tale that has been told for generations. A story of courage, cleverness, and the dark corners of the forest. This is the story of Hansel and Gretel. Once upon a time, nestled on the edge of a vast dark forest, lived a poor woodcutter with his two children, Hansel and Gretel, and their stepmother. The woodcutter worked tirelessly from dawn till dusk, chopping wood to sell at the market. But a terrible famine swept across the land, and food became scarce and expensive. No matter how hard he worked, there was barely enough to feed them all. One night, as hunger gnawed at their stomachs, the woodcutter's wife came up with a cruel plan. She told her husband, "There is not enough food for the four of us. Tomorrow we must take the children deep into the forest and leave them there. It's the only way we can survive." The woodcutter's heart broke at the thought, but he felt helpless and eventually agreed. Luckily, young Hansel was still awake and overheard their terrible plan. His heart pounded with fear, but he knew he had to do something. Quietly, he slipped out of the house under the moonlight. The moonbeams made the white pebbles in the yard shine like silver coins. Hansel filled his pockets with as many as he could carry and tiptoed back to bed, a secret plan forming in his mind. The next morning, at the crack of dawn, the stepmother woke the children. "Get up, you lazy things. We're going into the forest to gather wood," she said, handing each of them a small piece of stale bread. As they walked deeper and deeper into the woods, Hansel secretly dropped one shiny white pebble after another, leaving a trail only he could see. When they reached the deepest part of the forest, the stepmother told them to rest by a fire while she and their father collected wood. Of course, they never returned. As night fell, Gretel began to cry, but Hansel comforted her. "Don't worry," he said. "Wait for the moon to rise and I will show you the way home." And just as he promised, when the moon shone brightly, the pebbles glittered in the dark, leading them straight back to their cottage. Their father was overjoyed to see them, but their stepmother was furious. Not long after, the famine grew even worse. Once again, the stepmother convinced the woodcutter to abandon the children. This time, she locked the door at night so Hansel couldn't gather any pebbles. All he had was the piece of bread for their journey. As they walked, Hansel crumbled the bread in his pocket and dropped the crumbs along the path, hoping it would be enough to guide them back. But, alas, the forest was full of hungry birds. They saw the breadcrumbs and swooped down, eating every last one. When night came, there was no trail to follow. Hansel and Gretel were truly lost. They wandered for 3 days, their hunger growing with every step. Just when they thought they couldn't go on, they stumbled upon a clearing, and in that clearing stood the most magical house they had ever seen. It was made entirely of gingerbread, with a roof of cake and windows of sparkling clear sugar. Starving, they ran to the house and began to nibble on it. Suddenly, a sweet, creaky voice called out, "Nibble, nibble, little mouse, who is nibbling on my house?" An old woman with a kind smile emerged from the doorway. She invited them inside, promising them a warm bed and a feast. The children, relieved and hungry, eagerly followed her in. She served them pancakes with sugar, apples, and nuts. It felt like a dream come true. But it was a trap. The kind old woman was actually a wicked witch who lured children in to eat them. The next morning, she grabbed Hansel and locked him in a cage. "I'll fatten you up, and then you'll make a tasty meal," she cackled. She forced poor Gretel to do all the housework, feeding her only scraps. Every day, the witch, whose eyesight was poor, would tell Hansel, "Stick out your finger so I can feel if you're fat enough yet." But clever Hansel found a small bone in the cage. Each time the witch asked, he would stick the bone out instead of his finger. The witch grew frustrated, wondering why he remained so thin. Finally, her patience ran out. "Thin or fat, I'll bake you today." She screeched. She ordered Gretel to light the large oven. "Climb in and see if it's hot enough," the witch commanded, planning to shut the door on Gretel once she was inside. But Gretel, thinking fast, pretended she didn't understand. "How do I get in?" she asked innocently. "The opening is too small." "You silly goose," the witch grumbled. "It's big enough. Look, even I can fit." And as the witch leaned in to demonstrate, Gretel gave her a mighty shove, sending her tumbling into the fiery oven. Gretel quickly slammed the heavy iron door shut, and the wicked witch was gone for good. Gretel freed Hansel from the cage, and they hugged each other, overjoyed to be safe. As they explored the witch's house, they discovered chests filled with pearls, jewels, and gold. They filled their pockets with as much treasure as they could carry and set off to find their way home. This time, the forest seemed friendlier, and they soon recognized the path back to their cottage. When they burst through the door, their father was there alone, weeping. He had missed them terribly every single day. Their cruel stepmother had passed away while they were gone. He hugged them tightly, his heart filled with relief and joy. With the witch's treasure, their worries were over. The woodcutter, Hansel, and Gretel never went hungry again and lived together in happiness for the rest of their days. And that's the story of Hansel and Gretel. It's a powerful reminder that even in the darkest of times, courage and cleverness can light the way home. Thank you so much for watching with us today. If you enjoyed this story, please give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more tales. We'll see you next time.